without further ado, let's just get started. Now, this is an event page on LinkedIn. Now, the thing that's amazing about this page is that you specify the time and you put a specific call to action link. Now, what we did was we used the upgraded Zoom account, which has the webinar option. Now, with the webinar option, you can have multiple people in a group, and there's sort of the speakers, and then there's the people in the audience. We put our direct Zoom link in here. And what we did was we clicked on this invite button and we invited the people that were relevant to this event. So, we did some searches, we found locations, we found, industries. Now, what I don't like about what LinkedIn does here is that they don't have a couple of fields like function and like seniority. So that's one of the limitations of this. Let's say that you're in the computer software industry. Click that button, apply, and 5 people within your ICP, your ideal client profile, and invite them to your event. Why not? I think they'll really get some value out of this. The other thing that's kind of cool is it has the ability to do some social posts, sort of provide some updates. You can tell people what's happening. If you have a guest speaker, if you have a special video that you're going to be screening, whatever it is, you can put it here, So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put live now. People can get that. The next thing that I think is really interesting about this is the ability to share this event on your actual LinkedIn social feed. And the reason why that's valuable is because I'll just put it very plainly here. Social networks do not want you and me to drive traffic outside of their social network. It applies to every single social network on the planet. LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, right? So when you're in your post, when you're in your feed on LinkedIn and you do a post, what you want to make sure is that this URL is either a LinkedIn URL, or if not, then you want to put it in the comments. So what LinkedIn is giving you is they're giving you the gift of actually allowing you to put a LinkedIn link within the social post so that once you post this, it appears on the social feed. Here's the zinger. LinkedIn is not going to demote this post. I'll repeat that. If you put an external link, if you put domain.com, whatever that might be, and you put that in a social post, it's not going to get as much traction as a native LinkedIn URL. There's a lot of data on this. You're welcome to do your research on this. It makes total sense. Microsoft wants to sell advertising and they want to keep people on the platform. So take advantage of this gift from LinkedIn, post your LinkedIn URL in a social post and talk about it, promote it. So that's kind of a transparent thing on how we promoted this event. The other thing that I'll say is we are a video communication platform. We allow people to send video message. This is our software platform. Rob on our team, who's an amazing guy. He's a comedian and he's a comic and he's also a salesman and he's very, very good at it. He actually prospects people. So he finds people specific within our ICP, our ideal client profile, and he sends them personalized video messages. The reaction rates on these are extremely high. He sent this email to someone. They opened the email 54 times. They clicked on it 2 times. They watched the video twice. This person opened the email 6 times, 5 times. So there's a tremendous amount of engagement that you get when you send people personalized video messages. And we're actually going to talk about that a little bit more in this webinar. Here we go. The future of sales is video. Now, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Darius Santos, the co-founder and chief revenue officer of Dubb. We call him the Oracle because he knows pretty much everything about this industry, sales, marketing, automation. He's been in and out of it. He's had thousands and thousands of sales calls. So chances are, if you have a question, he's going to answer it.
So everyone knows we're all in here with probably facing the very same problem. We had a few people describe exactly their problem, right? We're trying to break through. We're trying to close more deals in a shorter time with less friction. And really, it comes down to a few key points that are going to enable us to do this action. The first one of these is the need to differentiate. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we could probably already be aware of this. Like you look at your inbox, there's just so many messages out there and they all look the same. There's paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. And all, like I go to my LinkedIn right now, I have 1,000 messages. Hey, let me get 15 minutes on your calendar along with a giant paragraph of what they're doing. So there's no differentiation there and your eyes immediately glaze over when you see all that text. So this is one of the biggest problems that we're facing as people trying to grow our businesses, whether you're in business development or sales specifically, account executives, small business owner, or even just marketing. We need to differentiate and we need to stand apart from all the noise that's out there. So this is one of the biggest problems that we're facing, whether you realize it or not. Next one here is, again, equally as important. There's so many expressions here, right? They don't buy the product, they buy you, where many of us are in really trust-based businesses like real estate or insurance or mortgage or any professional services. Even in software, they're working with you because they trust you. They say, okay, Darius, you know what? You're the expert here. I'm going to take your word for it. And that's the type of relationship we need to build with our prospective clients so that they can learn to trust us. And, because we're out for their interest and ours, right? We need to grow our business. We need happy clients and we need trust to do that. And this lack of trust in cold outreach is one of the biggest barriers we face today.
Really quickly say this. Say, if you're ignoring emails in LinkedIn and your email, if you look at your LinkedIn inbox and if you look at your email inbox, there's going to be a lot of sales emails in there. And what you're probably doing is ignoring them. The point that I'm trying to make here, I have to put the word ignore because I do it. I'm guilty. Okay.
I'm guilty.
I'm guilty of ignoring salespeople. The problem is this, is that there is so much noise. There are so many weird stories, bad actors, things that we've heard along the way that make us lose trust in strangers. Stranger equals danger. The same thing applies to salespeople. We need to be cognizant of that. It's not their fault. It's a reality. What they're doing is they're surviving. They're reacting. They are being what human beings do. They are protecting themselves. And we need to be empathetic, compassionate, cognizant of that. And we need to be creative and we need to figure out ways to earn their trust. It's about earning. It's not about just receiving without doing any work. And we're going to get into that. So thank you.
Right on. And the last two here is really, it comes down to not enough conversions, not enough engagement. We were just talking about some of the things. Don't want to get too technical into marketing lingo, but things like click-through rates, right? How many of your messages are actually being replied to or clicked through, meaning they're actually consuming the information you want to share with them. So engagement and conversions is across the board. This is in social, this is in sales messages, this is in marketing. So it's really a big high level problem here when we're talking about engagement and conversions. We're talking about every bit of messaging you're putting out there. Is it driving the amount of responses and engagement we can? The last thing here, actually we had a few users say, I want to shorten our sales cycles. Sales cycles are too long. And a part of this is actually leading with each of these three previous problems. The sales cycle is taking long because they have to overcome that trust barrier. They have to realize why we're different from our competition. And they have to first convert. They have to click through. They have to read our message and understand it enough where they even begin to see why they differ from competition or why would I begin to trust these people. So that sales cycle length is due to all of these problems individually. So these four core problems are really intrinsically tied to one another, and they all really have one elegant solution. Other solutions are possible. There's other ways to, chip away at these, but we're going to share one with you. You guys can probably guess what it is.
Yeah. So, the reason why we have this slide here is because we want to earn your trust. So we just want to take a moment here to say why we are qualified to talk about what Darius just mentioned, which is video. Okay. So Dubb is a communication platform. We're used now by over 50,000 businesses all over the world, mostly in US and Canada. We range from SMB to Fortune 500 companies. But more importantly, what we have access to is data. We see data at a macro level that empowers us to be able to educate people on the power of video. We know what subject lines are working. We know what types of videos are getting watches. We know what type of calls to action are getting clicked on. We know what type of overall sales funnels and processes are driving conversions. We know what type of things get bookings in people's calendars and ultimately what increases revenue. And what we're going to do in this webinar is we're actually going to talk about a couple of very specific case studies, and we're going to give it all 100%. We're going to be 100% transparent and tell you about how people have exceeded. In one case, how Jason Forrest increased his sales year over year by 150%. Another case, Chris Kirkpatrick, how he landed a $3.4 million deal and then ultimately $7 million in total revenue just by using this process, just by using this software and this whole experience. Can't wait to get into that. Darius?
So as I mentioned, you guys could probably guess what the solution is here. We're going to present, and it's going to be the power of video messaging. So we've all heard of video marketing or video things, YouTube, whatever. And really it's come full circle now where it's not just a video advertisement maybe, or a video on a landing page somewhere or a YouTube video. The video component has now taken forefront in our businesses. We're all virtual. Many of us have cut off from in-person events, and video itself has taken such a big part of the way we communicate and do business. As we're looking to grow and scale, we very often have to expand beyond our physical barriers, and video is one of the most powerful ways to do this. So video messaging is going to be the concept we're talking about here, and it's the ability to communicate with video the same way we communicate with written text. That's the core concept here. And again, this is not applicable to just sales or just marketing or just biz dev or just customer success. It's throughout entire businesses that video is making an impact and video is transforming the way that they're performing these. This one's going to be specific to sales though. So if you have other questions about other use cases like marketing and customer success and things, maybe another presentation.
Now, for this next slide, I had to go full screen because I'd love to share this quick story. So Darius, you mentioned this story and it was so funny once. No one ever says, wow, that was the most amazing email that I've ever received in my life. No one ever says that. No one ever says, that was the most amazing LinkedIn message that I've ever received in my life. People don't say that. But what they do say is they say, that was the most amazing video that I've ever seen. Or that was so amazing how you shared that video of yourself and connected with me. People say that all the time. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of case studies where people email us and people text us and people send us notes and say, thank you so much for making it so easy to record a video and share it with the prospect, because there's this magical thing that takes place when someone else, even if they don't know you, watches your video. It's the creation of the parasocial relationship. When people watch you in a video, they feel like they know you. They feel like they can trust you. They can actually like you, even though it's you, but it's not really you. It's a clone of you. It's a video of you. Now, the reason why that's valuable is because of this trust hurdle. When people see us, they feel like they can trust us. It's the ultimate transparent thing. It's literally the next best thing to real life. In fact, in some ways, it's better than real life because you don't have to get in the car and go to Starbucks and wait in the line. You can get that video instantly. So it's very efficient. So a couple of the bullets that we're going to share on this slide are why video has such an effect on all these things that we want. Shorter sales cycles, more leads, more, qualified leads, getting people to book times in your calendar, and ultimately getting people to close to drive revenue. So Darius, I'll let you take these bullets here.
So all the reasons we described earlier about why we're struggling and what the struggle is we're facing in biz dev and growing our revenue is the same problems that we're now accomplishing with video. As I mentioned, this is the solution. Video provides a way to overcome each of these barriers we described earlier. Nowhere like trust building. There's no way faster to build trust than in person and then on the phone, but those aren't scalable. You can't have 2 in-person conversations at once. You can't be on 5 phone conversations at once. This is where the power of video enables you to scale. So again, building trust, one of the biggest hurdles we have to overcome. And it's one of the most unscalable efforts because traditionally we have to spend a lot of time, hour-long phone calls, 30-minute calls, things like that. And this is where the power of asynchronous video messaging, like Dubb, we're sending video messages on their time, on our time, makes it very convenient for this information to be disseminated. So building trust at scale is the main obstacle we're overcoming here, right? You can get in front of them, shake their hand, you got a good relationship. Great. How do you do that 10 times a day, 100 times a day with 100 people? This is overcoming that. Differentiation, as I mentioned, look at your emails, look at your inboxes, and how many of them have video in it. Less than 1%, I can guarantee. Unless you're in our community and everyone's using Dubb and we all exchange Dubb videos, that's different. For vast majority of people, video is going to instantly set you apart from everything else that they're receiving. There's no better way to differentiate than with video right now. We were going to share some stats with you that will increase click-throughs, responses. And again, not our word for it. This data has been studied by us and by others. The fact is video is going to differentiate. And ultimately, we're still talking about increased conversions, right? We're differentiated. We're building some trust. We have something really interesting. They're going to click on it. Almost guarantee you do a split test with a plain text body email, send that to 100 people and send a video to 100 people. You're going to get a lot more responses, clicks, engagement, all of it. Like I said, almost guarantee it. I can't promise you that, but for each of our clients that have ever done that, that's been the case. So better conversions. And ultimately that all resorts into shorter sales cycles. You've built trust faster than you could have. You didn't have to go shake the hands and have a phone call. You did 10 virtual handshakes at once by reaching out to stakeholders through video. That's how we're going to be shortening sales cycles, is by building trust and differentiating ourselves and getting them to actually hear our message faster.
Okay, so I want to jump into a story here about my friend Jason Forrest. Now, Jason Forrest is the owner of the #2 highest rated sales training organization. They beat out Sandler, they beat out a bunch of big companies that we've all heard of. And I love the fact that he's very proud of the fact that he's #2. Now, if you guys remember back in the day, I think it was Alamo Rent-A-Car. They were the #2, I think second to, if I'm not mistaken, Enterprise. They actually leaned into this. They made it part of their brand. They said that we're the #2 car rental company. Therefore, we have to try twice as hard. And I love that idea of actually saying that you are a work in progress and that you're on your way to be #1, because that's exactly what Jason is doing. But more importantly, what is really interesting about Jason's workflow is that he sells what he trains people to do is exactly what he uses to sell his own company. And as a result, he's gotten 150% year-over-year growth using this process. We actually recorded a testimonial video with Jason, and it was about a 5-minute video, and it literally, the hair on my arm just kind of stuck up because it was so amazing to hear how someone is getting so many results by using easy to use software that's ultimately driving revenue and helping people provide for their family. I mean, it's the best feeling as creators, as entrepreneurs, as software founders, as any sort of title that you want to give us. It just feels good to help people. So I encourage you guys to check out the full video. But what's really amazing about this is that video is behind every piece of communication that they're doing. If they're communicating, they're doing it with video. And if they're doing it with video, there's always a call to action. What I'd love to do is, if you could share your booking link in the chat, I'd love for people to just see what a Dubb video landing page looks like so that you can see how easy it is to watch a video and then book a time in someone's calendar. If you have the time, meet with Ina because she's amazing and she'll train you on Dubb like a pro. She's amazing. Okay, so let me just share my screen. I wanted to do another story here. Okay, so this is Chris Kirkpatrick. Now, here, funny little story. I have to say this. If you Google Chris Kirkpatrick, you're gonna see a guy from the band NSYNC, okay? So just to be fun, just put NSYNC in the chat just because it's funny and it was just a thing that we recorded and it's just hilarious. Chris Kirkpatrick is not in the band NSYNC, okay? He is the founder of a company called Life 180, okay? And what's interesting about Chris is that he shared a story with me on a testimonial video. What we do with our happy customers is that we meet them in Zoom and then we try to build a case study with them. So we ask them questions, what's working, what's not working, what success have you seen, what have the results been? And then we mine a testimonial video out of this, right? And that has been an extremely valuable process for us for a couple of reasons. Number one is because we get a short, in this case, 30-second testimonial video. Number two is we can actually use these clips. Of course, these people provide permission for us to use these everywhere. It's really good for them because it promotes them. It gives them a stage, right? So we actually get to use these videos in our advertisements. So if you go to dubb.com right now, just point your browser to dubb.com, you're probably going to get retargeted on YouTube and Facebook with one of these testimonial videos. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what we say, it's what other people say about us. That's what's really important. So these testimonial videos make that very possible. So go through that process and you'll see a couple of cool things. But the story that I wanted to share on Chris is that he landed a $3.4 million deal by sending a Dubb video. And by hearing that story, we were blown away. When does that happen? That's amazing, right? Now, here's the interesting thing. This is not a one-time thing that's happening. This is a repeated thing that's happening. We don't like sharing stories of fireworks, something that happens, it's a spike, it's a PR boost, and then all of a sudden it's gone and it disappears. We don't like winning the lottery. We don't like getting lucky. We like what Darius mentioned, which is scale. It's repeated efforts to drive consistent growth without having to increase the number of inputs, and of course, increasing the outputs and ultimately the revenue. That's our definition of success. It's repeatable scale, okay? So what's amazing about this is that he landed this deal and he landed a bunch more, okay? He landed a bunch more and he's done millions of dollars in revenue from this. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just very quickly, if it's okay, I'd like to share this video that we mined. It's a 30-second video. Watch this thinking, how can I create a video like this for my business? Because this video is a massive moneymaker. When you put this type of a video in a retargeting ad, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and people watch this after they've kind of gone to your flow, sign up to your website, it's amazing how high the conversion rate is. Here it is. It's 30 seconds.
Our sales are up 150%. Dubb is 100% of all of our sales processes.
A $3.4 million deal, and we closed it less than 30 days later after sending this out. I got Dubb and I recorded videos.
This is basically like a mini landing page. And if I set it up right, it could be a funnel on the back end.
Every sale that we have comes through Dubb.
Email campaigns, flows, landing pages, many different things that can really help businesses to grow.
They always get watched and they always respond.
It just works.
Highly recommending.
And by the way, we have some greatness in the room. We've got Mr. Russ Johns himself, who was actually in the video at the end. Russ, I saw you in the chat. Let's see if I can find your clip. So please connect with Russ Johns, connect with him on LinkedIn. He is a Dubb power user. He is a trainer. In fact, him and I are doing a webinar. Russ, if you could please put the link to your LinkedIn profile and also the webinar that we're hosting. He is a guy that you want to connect with if you want to really become a pro at this. So thanks, Russ. All right, let's jump back to the slides.
All right, so we mentioned earlier, again, don't take our word for it. Look at the stats that are out there, or you can take our word for it, right? We've kind of shown you we have some trust and some credibility here. These are some studies that have been compiled through third-party sources as well. So this stat right here, 84% of customers make a purchase after watching a video. Now, this can be, again, regardless of what you're selling, software, physical products, services, it all comes down to the same thing. You're either demoing them on an hour-long sales pitch, or you are able to articulate all that information and value in a much faster, convenient way. And then your sales pitches, your demos, your sales cycles ultimately much shortened.
Your goal is to get them to watch the video. It can't just be on the page with the play button there unclicked. It has to be a watched video. That's the challenge now. How do we inspire people to want to click on the link, go to some specific place, click the play button, get to the end, and actually feel things? So that's the challenge. We'll get into that soon.
So again, some really powerful stats. This is also compiled by third-party sources. Maybe you've heard of HubSpot, Campaign Monitor. They have tracked and measured hundreds and millions of emails, basically. This is a number that they've compiled. Some of our data shows even higher than this. Some of it's ranged. What this number actually means is, again, when you do that split test, you send 100 people this standard giant paragraph, and then you send 100 people a video email, a personal one. Which one is going to have more click-throughs? 300% is a number you can probably expect. I can't say a guarantee again, but this is a very reasonable amount, like 10 out of 100 click on your text one versus 30 out of 100 clicking on a video campaign. So this is a number that is very realistic. So 300% seems crazy, right? But it's, again, not out of the range of expectations. And this is all done, again, by extensive testing through people like HubSpot and Campaign Monitor, and of course, our own data as well.
And then I'll just kind of quickly interject and say that imagine sending an email and getting the person to open it 56 times, go to the page twice, and then watch the video twice. Imagine the power of that. Imagine sending a video that gets this much engagement, that they're so delighted by what you sent them that they just keep on checking it out. And every time it says email opened by, what's happening is she's probably sending it to someone on her team. So in this case, Jenna from Ritz-Carlton, she sent this to someone out of state. So Jenna received a sales video, in this case, an email with a sales video, and then she sent it to someone else on her team. It looks like she initially clicked it in Irvine and then sent it to someone in Madera and then Boulder, Colorado. So you can see what happens when you send a video to someone. This is a cold lead receiving a video from Rob, and I'm happy to play this video, but the point that I'm trying to make is imagine the engagement. Imagine sending a video that goes micro viral within a company. And what I mean by that is someone sharing it with their team. Maybe they send it to the director of marketing, the director of sales, a VP, maybe a C-level, maybe even the owner. I think that's pretty cool.
Hi, Jenna, this is Rob with Dubb. Good chatting with you just now. As promised, here's this video. Hello to the other Jenna and Marcus, good to meet you. Imagine sending a video like this, personalized out to every prospect that you're about to either call, text, or email. No one ever said, wow, what an email, what a text. No, it's about video and making this human connection. We have increased conversions by 30 to 300% with clients all across so many different industries. And I thought, what would be more perfect than the Ritz-Carlton? I used to work for the Ritz in the Marina Del Rey. We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, and what is more personalized than something like this? So I want to invite the three of you to our webinar next week. It is next Wednesday, November 3rd at 11 a.m. PST. Jenna, I said it was 3 o'clock. I was wrong about that. November 3rd, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Watch the next video. There'll be a booking link after that, and would love to see the three of you there. Thanks.
So there it is. Go, Rob. Let me get back to the slides.
All right, I think we got one more stat here for you guys, and then we're going to jump into the visuals and some really cool stuff. So this one, again, this was tracked by sales teams sending video messages and 26% increase in their response rates. This means 26% more replies. And this is where we were talking about, and what Rob just said in his video. Someone never responded back to you and said, wow, this is amazing giant paragraph that you wrote me. You're so eloquent and well-spoken. No one said that. Again, this stats is we're being conservative here. You can maybe expect even higher response rates. It's all industry specific, and it comes down to the content too. Like you can see Rob there is very comfortable on camera, right? We're all practiced, so we make it look very easy. And we're going to show you guys some techniques for here right at the end to take some of the pressure off performing so perfectly. So I know we keep promising some really cool stuff here, right? And it is going to happen. It's almost done. So again, 26% more replies to your messages containing videos. What would 26% more replies do for your business today? Like, think about that. If you sent out 100, like someone asked, I have 150 leads that come in a day. If you got 26% more responses to those leads, what would your business look like after a month? It's a really powerful stat. All right, next one. Now, this one's a little bit more specific to technology, but the stat was just too powerful not to share, because while this stat is shared specifically from a SaaS platform, something like what Dubb is, the general purpose of it is very similar. How many times have you sent over a proposal, if that's part of your business? You just sent over the proposal. Have you ever tried walking them through the proposal via video? Maybe you have to actually get them on a call to walk them through the proposal, and that's a use of a half hour or something of your time and their time. Where if you record a video of the proposal and walk them through that line by line, articulate the value, explain why they're going to want to take action, you can expect maybe up to a 40% higher close rate on proposals with videos. If you've never tried sending a video along with your proposal before, try it today, seriously. 40% stat here. This is an extensive study. So it's not like we did, here we sent one proposal and that's the test. No, lots of data here to drive this. So if you've never sent a video along with your proposals, give it a shot. Guarantee you're going to get some good responses. A bunch of watches, they'll watch it and over and answer a bunch of questions that they may have asked. All right.
Let's do a little breakout session here. There's a bunch of comments that I noticed on how to feel more comfortable doing video. How am I supposed to look? What am I supposed to wear? Lighting. There's all sorts of interesting questions that people have. My answer to so many of those is it doesn't matter. And I'll get into that and why in a moment. But what I want everyone to do, if you're willing, okay, grab your phone and open up the camera, okay? Put it in video mode. And I want you to pretend like you're speaking to your dream prospect, okay, to the CEO of that big company that you've been trying to get a hold of. And I want you to try to record a video where it's as if you were in an elevator with them, okay? You can do one take. It doesn't matter if you mess up. You can correct yourself. But the goal of this video is to have them get to know you. It's not trying to sell yourself. It's just to get them to know you, okay? Maybe it's something about yourself. Maybe it's something that you know about them. Let's not be too creepy. The point is to just break that trust hurdle. So I'm going to practice what I preach and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to pretend like I'm prospecting Darius. Hey, Darius, I noticed that you've been looking for a way to kind of exercise and do some fitness, and you got to try out tennis, man. Tennis has changed my life. It is so much fun. I go to the tennis club, I meet people. It's fitness, it's exercise, it helps hand-eye coordination. If you're game and if you want to join me on the tennis court, I'd love to invite you and come out. We could grab a drink afterwards. If you're interested, just, click below or book a time and we can schedule it up. Hope to see you on the court, Darius. Bye-bye. Okay. Darius gives me a hard time when I mention tennis stuff, so I got to heckle him a little bit. Plus, I am trying to get him to play. But the point that I try to make is that I did not have to redo that video. I started recording and I got to the end, okay? There was a little bit of stream of consciousness. Yes, I pre-prepped, I planned it out, I premeditated what I was gonna say, but I didn't have to script it. It flowed naturally, okay? Was it a great script? No, it was not. That's not the point, okay? The point is that video should be comfortable, okay? In filmmaking, there's this idea of the fourth wall. If you look, like in The Office, they do this a lot, right? Actors regularly are looking, away from the camera, but sometimes the characters in The Office, they go to the camera and they get this funny zoom in effect and they go like this, you guys know that from The Office? In video, there's this similar thing, which is this fourth wall, which is here's real life and here's video. When we communicate in real life, we're just flowing, we're communicating, we're not stuttering, I'm not saying basically, I'm not tripping on my words, I'm not redoing what I do, I'm not thinking about how my hair looks or if I need to pluck my monobrow, I'm not thinking about any of that stuff, I'm just communicating. We need to get to the point where the same thing happens when we communicate with video. If anyone in this room thinks that recording video is natural, please put the word natural in the chat. No one should put the word natural in the chat. It is not natural. Human beings were not created to record on video. It's a relatively new thing. It's been around for 100 years, okay? Humans have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, if not more, right? It's very new for human beings. We need to practice. We need to get out there. We need to record 100 videos. You know, Bruce Lee has a famous quote. He says, "I do not fear a man that can do 1,000 kicks. I fear the man that has done a single kick 1,000 times." And that is what we call in Taoism, that is what we call Wu Wei. You get to a place where it's thoughtless thought. It's inactive action. It's when you do something without having to think about it. They call it effortless action. We all have something that we have effortless action. Maybe it's making an omelet. Maybe it's on the tennis court. Maybe it's working out. We don't have to think about it. We've done it for tens of thousands of hours in our life, and now it flows. Video needs to get to the same point. So if you're game with me to start making video part of your life, please put the word video in the chat. This is a commitment. This is a commitment that you're going to grab your phone, that you're going to record a video. You're going to click that live button on Instagram. You're going to click that social post on LinkedIn. You're going to start that YouTube channel that you've been wanting to chart, because all you have to do is go to that phone and click that red button. That's all that it takes. And you need to do it over and over and over again. And I can guarantee you, you're not going to worry about your hair. You're not going to worry about your makeup. You're not going to worry about your lighting. You're just going to be you. There is only one you. There is no other version of you, okay? You are the fingerprint. What that means is that you have no competitors. If you truly believe in that mantra, if you truly believe in that vision, that you are unique and that you are why people are going to buy from you, I promise you it will change your game. The moment that I realized that in my life, everything changed. And I'm still on that journey, and I'm still a student, and I'm learning with you guys. So thank you for listening. I think we have a couple of more slides here. Darius, would love to get some notes from you.
All right. So here we go, guys. First, I'm going to get into just a strategy I want to show you. We had a lot of questions, and this one is probably going to cover some of those in one use case. So the questions I'm addressing here are, how do I break through the noise? How do I shorten the sales cycle? How do I do this at scale? If I have 100 people to follow up with, those are the three things that I'm going to show you guys all at once. Also, some of the things like, I don't want to record a 2-minute video because I'm going to mess up and it's got to be perfect, right? Like that pressure to do these really long videos without messing up. It's also going to address that. Some of you may have already seen this technique. Some of you are probably already growing your business with this technique today. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. What I'm going to do is, just like Ruben pretended to prospect me, I'm going to pretend to prospect Ruben here on LinkedIn. Now, this is using one of our...
I think it's officially a bromance.
Right. We're prospecting each other. Prospecting. Okay, so here, let me switch my camera. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is, this is the Dubb Chrome extension. If you're not familiar with it, it's a one-click screen recorder where all I have to do is click this button, and now I can record anything on my screen. And what I'm actually going to do is record a video of Ruben's LinkedIn profile, and you're going to see why. Pay close attention to the script here. Hey, Ruben, it's Darius from Dubb. I just wanted to reach out. My team and I actually produced a video just for you. I know you're going to find it really interesting. In fact, probably the best video you'll watch all week. It comes right after this one. Let me know what you think, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. And in fact, if you like what you hear, there's a link below where we can connect for some coffee. Can't wait to hear from you. Thanks. Again, very generic, but you're going to see why I said exactly what I did. When I press the check mark on this video, Dubb is going to upload that video to our account, and then it's going to add some elements to this video that I just promised would be there. So I said, hey, Ruben, there's a video that comes after this one. Let me know what you think. And the benefit that I'm going to get from this, first, why I started it on his LinkedIn is because when I go to share this message with Ruben, that's what he's going to see is his LinkedIn profile. Remember, we were talking about differentiation and building trust and click-through and engagement? I said, look at my inbox, paragraphs and paragraphs of, I want some time on your calendar. This instantly answers that what's in it for me mentality. It's about him. The video is about him, and you can see that right up front. Now, here's the other part of this is, I'm going to re-record this video that I showed you guys. Sometimes you need to re-record. Hey, Ruben, there's a video after this one. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Not quite as good as the first time, but you'll see what happens. So when we build that page, or when we record that video, Dubb is going to add everything we need to that video to provide scale, to provide trust. to make it to where we don't have to memorize long scripts and we don't have to repeat ourselves. So here's what happened. The gentleman that said, how do I follow up personally? How do I break through the noise? How do I not have to repeat myself and overcome these barriers of recording long videos? What Ruben said in the beginning here was that the point of that first video is not to sell. It is not to tell Ruben, hey, Ruben, we're a video communication platform and we're going to blah, 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 blah for 5 minutes, right? That's not the point of that first video. The point of the video is to do the things we described. It's to differentiate. It's to stand apart. So instantly you get that in a few seconds with the thumbnail. The other part of that is now I didn't have to repeat myself because at the end of this video, I said, hey, Ruben, there's a video we made for you. I'd love to know your thoughts. And then it goes right into that video. So this video is the one that said, here's some really cool stuff we made for you. And again, it doesn't have to be personalized just for them. This one can be more generic. So this is like the value prop. And this is the reason why Ruben might want to book a time. So let's say if you're in services, professional services of any kind, this is your value proposition. So you get the really powerful personal introduction. Someone mentioned life insurance leads, right? You have 100 life insurance leads to come in. You spend 10 seconds making a video for that lead. Hey, John, I got your information here and I just wanted to let you know, we're going to take care of you every step of the way. We have the solution. Check it out. And then it goes into this pre-recorded video where you provide your value proposition about why they're going to want to work with you over anyone else. You could literally create 100 of these videos in like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and you follow up with all of your leads very personally and also very effectively. You can put in testimonials or case studies or explainers. Those videos, they're going to help build trust. Ruben showed some testimonials to you guys earlier. Those build trust. Those create that relationship we're looking for without shaking the hand. So this whole page here, you saw this playlist, these buttons, right? Book a time, check out our success stories. This is what the technology is all about. And this is actually how it's overcoming each of those problems we discussed in this presentation. We're building trust by reaching out to them personally, introducing ourselves, putting a voice to our face. You know, we're a person, we're not text in a page. Someone mentioned bots, right? Like they're literally getting bot responses here through automations and no one's even replying. This is obviously a human, you're obviously a person. And if you've done a half decent job in your video, they're like, wow, that's interesting. I'm his ideal customer profile. If we're totally off the mark, then that's just, you know, customer profiling. But if we've done a good job with our messaging and our profiling, there's a very high likelihood this is going to hit home in a much more personal way than paragraphs that are no different from us. So that is the main idea of the platform. Create the video, instantly differentiate yourself, build trust. There's another part of this, which we didn't even talk about, which is the technology side of it. Ruben showed some tracking stuff, right? So we can see if they watched the video, how much they watched, which buttons they clicked. Now, what's the least favorite thing that every business development salesperson, entrepreneur has to do? Probably following up, right? Probably chasing our leads and trying to figure out, are they going to respond or not? Did they even look at what I sent them? Video provides a solution to that as well. We can see if they watched, how much did they click, anything they engaged here is tracked. And we can even build out automated messages and sequences and actions. So let's say you send this video out to 100 people and someone says, I'm interested. They didn't want to book a time. They didn't call you. Maybe they clicked a button like this that said, learn more. And now we know that that's who they are. And we can even trigger a series of automated messages to go out to them right from Dubb as well. So besides this video part, which is the majority of what this presentation is about, it's also about technology. It's also about leveraging the ability to scale your efforts. No more manually following up, no 10-minute things that you messed up a million times. This is the other concept with Dubb is efficiency and scale. We can shake 100 hands at once automatically. You can send a video out there and anyone that shakes your hand, right? They click the button that said, I like this at the handshake, and you can shake their hand automatically 100 times over, 1,000 times over using the technology. So that's the other biggest concept here is the scale, the ability to put yourself out there in a much more authentic and trust building way than ever before possible. Webinars, that's close, right? We got you guys all in here in a one-to-one meeting, similar. But again, this took our time, your time, and it was very limited. Whereas something like Dubb can be in front of the same number of people at any time all over the globe without using our energy and resources in that moment. So that was a question and answer, or sorry, an answer to quite a few of the use cases here, like A, how are we breaking through, right? You differentiated yourself, you created a video. The other part of that is following up, right? We all know the fortunes in the follow-up. So maybe you do a couple manual, like you send them this personal video. Did they watch it? Did they not? Follow up based on that engagement, because you have some intelligence now. You can see, did they watch? Did they click? Did they show any interest? And if not, you follow up and say, hey, we made this video just for you. Or I made this video and I know you're going to find it interesting. Let me know what you think. Simple follow-ups like that, where you have more intelligence, will drive far higher engagement on your content than you've ever gotten from text. So that's the other piece there, is following up with your video intelligence and eventually even putting it into automated workflows so that you're no longer manually following up and chasing people down. If someone doesn't want to reply, we can put them into a video workflow. So
I just saw an interesting question that I wanted to address.
yeah,
I have to do this in a very tactful way, but I think it's such a valuable lesson. There's probably been 5 times in my life where I've worked in some sort of an organization and someone in a sales leadership position, a male, said, hey, we need to get some pretty girls to help us with sales, okay? And that statement, it never really stuck with me very well. Okay, because there's something that sounds wrong about that. It sounds misogynistic. It sounds like we're sort of using, desire and, things that are maybe not necessary in business. It never really stuck with me, right? And I know that the chat that we got is not potentially about what this is, but it's so imperative that I bring this up. Someone in the chat said, do women get better responses than men? Okay. Now, again, I'm not assuming that you're saying that it's an attractive thing. That's not what I'm assuming, but I'm trying to make a point here that hopefully answers your question. It is not about how attractive you are, attractive with air quotes. Okay. That's not what drives revenue. In fact, a lot of the times it has a negative effect when someone that's overly produced, overly done up, that is simply trying to be a look good person. That's not authentic. What drives the most engagement is 3 things. Number 1 is authenticity. Number 2 is gratitude. And number 3 is value. Okay. Those 3 things are the biggest drivers. It's not about hair, makeup, gender, lighting. It's not that stuff. It's about authenticity, gratitude, and value. So, and let's make those the mantra when we record and share videos. I want to very quickly mention why these words are very important, okay? Authenticity, because people don't want to be tricked. They don't want to feel like there's something different on this side of the camera versus that side of the camera. They want to know that the whole world is honest, that it's filled with integrity, that the people on the other side are real, that they can trust them, that they put, if they put a credit card or if they sign a contract, that something bad is not going to happen, okay? Authenticity is what brings people together. Imagine if you're on a walk, with your dog and you meet the CEO of that company, that prospect that you've been trying to get in touch with, and you see him and he or she is on a run and they're in their gym clothes, and you say to her and you say, hey, how's it going? And they say, oh, I'm just enjoying the weather. And then you have a moment about the weather. That is so authentic. The chances of doing business by having that as your initial connection, where it's human and real, is so much better than saying, hey, will you buy my stuff? It's more authentic. Number 2 is gratitude. When we express our gratitude, people connect to that. People see the humility in it. They see the humanity in it. And it's so important that we express our gratitude. There's a guy by the name of Rob Jockelman who's a power user of Dubb, and he's probably sent thousands of videos right now. And he does gratitude so well, and it's so authentic. It really comes from the heart. He really expresses the gratitude of someone inviting him to a webinar or sharing a social post or giving him an ebook or whatever it might be. That idea of gratitude needs to come off in our videos. It's so effective and it's authentic and it's real. And the last is value. We have to be 99.9% value oriented. When we engage with someone and we share a video, whether it's the personalized video in the beginning or it's the evergreen video that Darius showed, we need to be educating people. We should not be selling people. People are too smart now to be sold to. People are buying now. They're not being sold to. People can search on Google. They can search for your competitors. They can search for 100 different alternatives. They can probably find a cheaper version. That's not what's going to sell. What's going to sell is when we provided value to them. When we said, hey, we are here for you. Dubb is here as a software platform, but we're also here as friends. We're also here as a support community. That's the stuff that sells. And that is all powered by us, by people.
All right. Thank you, Ruben. Does the format really matter that much? for the so the teleprompter is only available in portrait mode. I would say there's no difference between landscape and portrait, really. I mean, if you have a vibe or a background you're trying to show, that makes more sense when you do landscape, or if you're incorporating it in like a YouTube video, it's more about the shot. I love this example that somebody gave me though, like Jason Forrest, we didn't see it in that clip, but he's like shaky selfie videos on his phone to CEOs on Instagram and stuff. And those are what's closing deals. That's how they grew their business. So nothing wrong with the shaky hand shot cell phone video. It's real, it's authentic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's a really important concept. Do not go to this thing where, oh, I need this perfect tripod and background and mounting and all this. That you don't need any of that. Take a walk around your house with your phone in your face. That's all you really need.
Roberto Monaco, one of our power users, he actually loves to record videos when he's on walks with his dog. He gets to be out in nature and he'll record those videos, and he's had so many success stories just being out there. We're all in rooms, we're in front of computers with walls around us. When someone sends us a video when they're outside, it makes us feel like we're outside. I mean, that's why we watch shows and documentaries and National Geographic shows and stuff, right? Send videos from outside. The reason why that's good is because you get to take a break and you get to take a walk, and you're also doing your job. You're prospecting, you're communicating.
Is the concept that when a recipient receives a message that the video, they have to click play, or do they need to click through? So there's two answers to that question. One is you can autoplay your videos so that when they click on the email or whatever, they open the email, the video can automatically play. They will need to click on the thumbnail in the body of the email though. So there's no avoiding that. They will always need to click the play button in the side of an email, because otherwise that's so spammy that nobody would want that. If they just open an email and something started playing, that's like illegal at this point. So yeah, they have to click play once they open the message. So good question there. View video after LinkedIn connection or through email. Please save time to answer that question.
And then before we do that, since it's 11, I just wanted to give a special offer to everyone that's still in the room here. If you have a free trial on Dubb, if you haven't signed up for Dubb, please go to Dubb.com, get yourself a free trial. There's no credit card required. And we'd like to offer a special code. If you're interested in a special offer, please put the word special in the chat. We will follow up with you and we will send you an email with a special offer. Put the word special in the chat if you'd like to, potentially subscribe for Dubb. Your success is our success, so we're not happy until you guys are, but we do need to have some information from you that you are interested. So please put the word special in the chat right now if you are interested. And I'm starting to feel like this is one of those telethons. So Darius, take over.
Telethons, right? Okay, next caller. Okay.
Next caller.
So Andrew, your mic's on. Go ahead, my friend.
So someone asked whether or not you should respond after you connect with them on LinkedIn or in the email. So I was saying that was a great question, and I would like to know your answer to that.
There. One, I recommend if you are trying to prospect somebody, omni-channel, multi-channel, right? Send them an email, send them a LinkedIn, follow up on both channels. That's what I would recommend, both channels. The other part of this is if you're not a connection yet, then I don't recommend sending a custom video. Wait till you're connected, then you would send them a custom video, because otherwise 50% of connection requests, probably more than 50% at this point, don't even ever get looked at. So don't waste the effort into a custom video through a connection request. I'd say wait till you're connected, then send them a custom video. Both channels as well, LinkedIn and email. All right, Pete, good question. How long is a typical video message? The examples we just gave you there are typical video messages. The idea is not to completely sell them on everything you could do and get them to know everything possible in that one video. It's going to be to get them to take that next step. What is it? Is it straight to a purchase? Are you doing like direct to consumer or something? Most of the time we're looking for demos, right? We're looking for that opportunity to connect with them, to either do a demonstration or a trial or just a phone call, whatever that next step is that we're able to connect with them. That's the main idea of using a tool like this, is to punch through all the other stuff that's out there in a very short, concise, powerful way. Plus, to be efficient and to be more effective, you don't want to sit there and put the pressure on yourself of recording like a 10-minute video for somebody and then you mess up along where they didn't watch it or something because you don't have the right email. Point is that these messages ideally are very short, but using that workflow I showed you, you can leverage longer form content along with shorter form. You give them this 1-2 punch, like you come in with a home run saying, hey, Ruben, I wanted to show you how we're transforming sales teams to achieve 50% sales growth this quarter. Check it out, right? That's a really punchy, short, interesting thing. I didn't try to sell them on everything, didn't explain everything, but if that sounds interesting, maybe the next video will. So that's a really good question. How long is the typical video message? Short, concise, powerful. You can't be powerful and concise for a long time, right? Unless you, I don't know, there's a lot of really cool stuff to say, but that's my best tip there, short and sweet. Michael, have you ever noticed in bump and response with regards to whether the video is recorded on mobile versus desktop? So this is a really good question. And I would say that we probably have specific data versus mobile versus desktop, just because there's so many different users that are doing both equally. I would say that it's all about the rest of your video, right? Like, is this first one you shoot, whether it's a screen recording or your mobile, again, it's not so much the difference there of what it's the content and the targeting you're doing. So whether you're on your cell phone or your Chrome extension or the website, probably not important. That's probably not even significant or statistical. The difference, I would say, is that workflow I showed you on LinkedIn, where their thumbnail is LinkedIn, you can only do that on desktop. So there's no way to personalize that thumbnail on mobile the same way you could do on desktop. So that personalized thumbnail, that very custom thumbnail, will probably lead to more click-throughs. Response is a different story, right? If your video is off target, your message is off target, that's the response outcome. But click-throughs, you will see a lift if that thumbnail or the message is personalized to them, which can be easier to do maybe with the extension. All right, Aaron, here we go. What is the best kind of video for video 2? I have a 25-minute briefing. Is that too long? Do I use video 2 to drive them to a longer video? So this is a really great question, Aaron. I would say the 25-minute video is probably too long for video 2. What I would do is you have the super personal one, hey, John, XYZ, right? Check this thing out. Let me know what you think. And then you have a home run pitch, right? A shorter 30-second, 1 minute maybe. And at the end of that, you have a CTA. At the end of each of these videos, you have a CTA. The first one says, check out this next video, and if you're interested, grab a time. Your second video says, now this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's a lot more to explain here. I have a 25-minute video where we go into full detail. And if you're interested in seeing that, click below to receive that video, or however you'd like to disseminate that information. Is it a link click? Do you want to have them request it from you? The 25-minute video, though, I would put something in front of it where they've showed intention, because 25 minutes is quite long. That's like a demo. So good question, Aaron. Next one. Do you have playbooks or suggested talk tracks types of videos you recommend? So again, this is just so specific to the industry and the product and things like that, that it is difficult to make like hardline recommendations, but the ones that I just mentioned here, short, sweet, don't sell, those are the probably best ones I could say, right? We're making a connection, you're getting them a home run, you're not completely pitching them on everything you could do. So those are all typically going to fall in that same level of information. You're introducing maybe a little home run value prop, why they want to check the video out, why they want to talk to you in the first place, and then drive for the CTA. So that same format, intro, home run, CTA. That's probably the highest core concept I could give you there for a playbook. Short and sweet. Rich, I've been thinking of hiring a VA. Are there any companies that have VAs that know Dubb for setting up campaigns and editing? So actually, this comes back to another question I saw from somebody else about coaching. So we actually are releasing a few programs, like we have a couple different coaching programs. We have Dubb Academy coming out. It's still in the mix here. So are there people available? Yes. A VA specifically for Dubb. Ruben, we were talking about this too, like some, because it's not coaching. You're right. I just need some technical setup. We do have a Pro Plus plan where you can get support one-on-one. So the Pro Plus includes one-to-one support where we could meet with someone from our team like Ina or whoever and then get some support there for building out campaigns. So that is available as part of a subscription on the Pro Plus plan. Good question there, Rich. And anyone that needed some more one-to-one, that needed more coaching, that needs more support. You're like, look, okay, I just want some white glove. Help me get this thing set up. We have that Pro Plus plan available for you. If you're the kind of guy that tosses the directions away, you're like, no, I got this. Great. Pro's available for you. Tons of self-support, live trainings. Everything you need is there. If you want someone to help build the dresser for you, Pro Plus is available as well.
Darius, can you bring Rob Botts on the stage?
Oh, there you go.
It's here.
My friend Rob, heck yeah, more co-hosts. I just made Rob the co-host.
Nice.
And Michael says, say more about Academy. Ruben, what do we got for Academy right now? Like, I know we have a link. We got, it's like been in this beta position for a while. So I don't know if we're ready to fully release it yet. Are we?
You know what? If you're interested in Dubb Academy, please put the word Academy in the chat and we'll actually follow up with you. We've got an offer for that. We actually have a couple of coaches that are helping us to deliver really, really specific courses on how to use Dubb, video prospecting, feeling comfortable just making this part of your flow, even automation, which is the future of marketing.
Right.
So please put the word Academy if there is an investment and it's in the thousands. So, don't put the word Academy if you're not interested, because we don't want to bother you. But if you're ready to make an investment, put the word Academy in there. I mean, I think we've proven that the ROI is there. All right. So I got Rob with us here. So Rob, I was really psyched to be looking through your Dubb account. And what's so exciting about this is that this is the video that you sent to Jenna, I think from Ritz-Carlton, 58 opens, 2 clicks, 2 watches, exciting stuff. Like, you're getting really, really good traction on some of your videos where people are actually opening your emails. Not all of them, but some of them. Like in this case, they opened the email 7 times. They watched it 1 time. Here they open the email 3 times, watch it 1 time. Give us some guidance. How do you feel comfortable doing videos at scale? Because you can do a video. It takes you like maybe 30 seconds or a minute or so to do a video and to send it to someone, right? Now, of course, you have to include a little bit of research time, but how did you get yourself into a flow of doing videos so easily? What was that process like for you?
Well, for me personally, having an acting background, being used to, performing in front of the camera, all that good stuff. So it's a little more natural for me for something like that, prep, get the lines down, know what I want to say. But having said that, you don't need to have any of that kind of background. Like, the wonderful thing about doing this is you just be yourself. So if you're someone that's sitting in your office and you're super relaxed and you have a cup of coffee in your hand and this is how you normally are, have a conversation with that prospect one-on-one. That's really what it's about. Yeah, exactly. Darius got his coffee. So, so I think prep-wise, the one thing everyone can do is you can do your research. Everybody could do that. So the prospect, what their company is, what do you want to say? Take the time, sit down. Okay, how do I want to present this? But the great thing about the Dubb mobile app and the Chrome extension is all these different things that Darius and Ruben talk about with integrations and how simple the tech is. Because a lot of times people get overwhelmed with, oh my God, how am I going to set this up? Do I have a light here? Do I have this? Do I look good? There are some basic things we talk about, like eyeline, right? You want to have a nice eyeline. You don't want to be backlit where you're a total shadow in the front. You don't want to have a light hanging above you and you look like The Walking Dead. So, there are all these basic things you can do to show your humanity to the other person in terms of the look. Now, to kind of sum up, be yourself. I always like to say, we all have one fingerprint, it's only us. But the great thing about Dubb and this whole actionable video platform strategy that we do is that you are literally cloning yourself to so many other people. So when you're sleeping, you're out there, you're doing your thing and you're still bringing you. So for me, the biggest advice is be yourself, talk to that camera. Remember, when you're recording this, you're just you and the camera. The camera is your friend. You're working together, you're a team. And that's what goes to your prospect.
Nice. Now, there's kind of a specific thing that you and I have been experimenting with, which is actually not the typical Dubb use case. And I've been wanting to socialize this, and I think that this is a good chance to do it. So what we have done here is I'll present a problem and a solution, okay? So the problem is doing videos on social media takes time, okay? It's hard to prioritize those videos. If you have struggled with doing video on social media, put the word struggle in the chat, because I know I have, okay? And the reason why I have is because I can record a video, I've proven that. But to write the caption, to put the hashtag, to add the copy, to put the video, to publish it onto the thing, go check it, respond to people in chat, that process, I drop the ball left and right. And I realized it's just not really my forte. Like, I can record the content, but I need someone else to help me to publish it. So what we have been working through is this idea of using the Dubb mobile app to record videos in a very raw format, okay? So what we have here is an example of a video that what we did was we used the Dubb mobile app, encourage you guys to get it. What you can do is you can record multiple clips and then merge those videos together, okay? So this is the raw version of a video. But what we did afterwards was we sent it to someone on our team. Let's see if I can find it. We sent it to Shannon from our team, who then gave it to one of the editors, and the editor actually edited this to a nice kind of a social media sort of cool, funny, nicely edited video. And what happened was astounding, okay? That video, how long did that video take us to record? Do you remember this vampire one, Rob?
Oh, how could I forget? So we went through like maybe 5 minutes of just, prep and going through it 1 or 2 times. And then another, 5 minutes to record and merge. I mean, the Dubb mobile app makes it so easy to do it. So
yeah, so this took us 10 minutes. And as a result, we got 2,900 views, 35 likes, some comments. I mean, this took us 10 minutes to do. What's amazing is that we're doing this now every single day. This video got almost 900 views. This one got 1,200 views. When people talk about social media and videos and they say, well, you got to put these beautiful Instagram shots and you got to do these produced videos that take all this time and you got to get celebrities and this and that. I think it's nonsense. I think that if you go, you be yourself, you put these authentic videos out there, yeah, you can have someone on the team edit them. You can add some production value. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to respect people's time. If we recorded a 60-second video and there's only 20 seconds of valuable information in there, we should probably trim that down to 20 seconds unless we can re-record it in 20 seconds. We have to be empathetic about people's time.
That's it. Thank you guys so much for attending today. We'll see you in the next event. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.